And, Coach, we find ourselves due east from our nation's capital at FedEx. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. Jamal Agnew now to return it. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'2 quarterback who was a fourth-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
And it'll be interesting to see pretty early in this one exactly where his head is, because the best quarterbacks shake off performances like he had last week. Way too many interceptions. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. Team lost the game. Let's see if he can bounce back and get things going in the right direction.
He'll be trying to forget those 3 picks, as you noted. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jonathan Allen in there to make the play. It'll be a loss of 14, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Jensen. They will find Davis. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
They'll run with Thompson. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's Xavier Rhodes there in on the stop. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
Jordan Reed is one of the best route-running tight ends in the NFL, and it shouldn't be an accident because at one point he was a college quarterback. So at times when he runs routes downfield, I think he's doing it with quarterback eyes and almost in a sense is imagining himself catching a pass from himself.
They run it here with Thompson. And he'll get this only up to about the there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. This is how they will line it up defensively for Minnesota. They've had their trouble stopping the run, Charles. Currently 29th in the NFL in that department.
One thing you do know, they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
Throwing it on 3rd and long. Jensen. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Preston Smith in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Cousins now on second down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference. Defense.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
Neutral zone infraction.
That's because you spend
Defense.
too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. Here's the correct call.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Play fake. Cousins. The left side caught by Diggs.
Holding. Offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 14 carries, 59 yards.
And give him a ton of credit. He's running the ball really well, but I look at those guys up front. That unit is truly playing as just that. Every move that they make, their teammate understands what that move means and what they need to do. And right now, they're starting to grind it out pretty well.
They go play action. Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 19 yards that time for number 19.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Throwing is Cousins. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
Kyle Rudolph had his 2nd Pro Bowl appearance last year when he had 8 touchdowns, just 1 off of his career high. One of the most likable, upbeat players in the league, continues to improve as a blocker, is one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. One of the guys that the Vikings like to build around for the future.
Maybe a free play here. Cousins. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Cousins on 1st down. And that's incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell. And it's 2nd down. And here's the Redskin defense.
A force off the edge is Ryan Kerrigan, who's had 24 sacks in the last 2 seasons alone, and that's second only to Chandler Jones over that span. Not only does he get to the quarterback, he knows how to strip the ball away from him as well. That was something he did particularly well when he was at Purdue. Noted for forcing fumbles, for takeaways. He's carried that over quite well in the NFL.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Caught. It's Ellington. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
And coach, he has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. Cousins now. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And here come the Redskins now. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Looking to throw. Jensen, complete. Richardson has it. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 7 catches, 92 yards.
And I'd certainly expect them to use him quite a bit because he runs excellent routes, has good hands, and knows how to get open.
Now Thompson. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time they're able to bottle him up as they'll stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Jordan Reed has it. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get protected grabbing some cloth.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's third down.
That would have been a great catch, but real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
On second down, Cook. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 3-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got a 3rd down and 5 to start things out. From the gun, here's Cousins. It's hauled in by Ellington. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Ryan Kerrigan in on the tackle.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a second down throw for Cousins. And shedding through the tackle. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Cousins now to throw on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. A second down throw for Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Second down, Cousins. Ellington has it, middle of the field. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. They'll get the first down as he gets it to the 8. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
What's the old adage, be quick but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays, fire another one into the end zone.
This will be caught at about the 5. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Forbath will put this one through, and that will make it 6-0. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me,
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here we go now.
On the ground, it's Thompson. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd-and-1 situation.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd-and-1. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, They're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I like that. It helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tough.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking there for Bruce Ellington. Third down here.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. The Vikings on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Cousins now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. Again, it's Cousins. And his throw is incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Cousins again. Going deep for Diggs. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
On 3rd down, Cousins looking for Inman deep. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. Dontrell Inman, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Forbath able to convert the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. To return it is Corey Grant. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So that last penalty making this 3rd down much more manageable. 3rd down, 4 yards to go.
All right, here we go. 2, let's
From the gun, Jensen. And he couldn't hang on. Almost an interception there defensively. Instead, it brings up fourth. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
It'll be a gain of 6, and just like that, it's third down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now Cousins. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. First grab so far for Diggs. It's a first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Cousins from the gun on third. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. Starting to rack up the yardage here in this first half. 5 catches now and a first down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. And that's complete. It's Allington. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come up.
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Preston Smith, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. Throwing on first down. Jensen. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. On first down, Jensen. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. The Redskins going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Looking to throw on second down. Jensen. And Reed with it over the middle. Man, he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. A final shot before break. Jensen, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. Let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin our tour out at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And it's the Buccaneers who are out in front in the second quarter. Chris Godwin, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, it's been Kirk Cousins with a hot hand in the first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Our eyes shift now to the Vikings defense. Forced the fumble last time, up on the scoreboard, things going their way.
Things are rocking easy now, and they feel good about themselves, confident, taking the ball away in the last possession. They're going to try and do it again.
So let me ask you, can you be playing free and that can be good, or it can also become bad, right?
I like the way you put it. You're exactly right. It can work both ways. Sometimes you get too loose and give up big plays and not handle your responsibilities. But oftentimes when you're playing free and easy and locked in, as they are today, You see the end result.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Off play action. Jensen. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
And he goes out right around the 39. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Preston Smith in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I'd file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Handoff comes to Cook. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. They go play action. Cousins. And a pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Ryan Kerrigan in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, a run with Thompson. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Looking for Crowder, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. That's an experienced DB picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I go back to the offseason, had a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. Following the interception, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Redskins scoop it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. In on the stop there, Andrew Sendejo.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If you have to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
To throw on 3rd down. Jensen. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Fielded at the 20. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief that you still have the lead. But coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they've got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
So out now come the Redskins. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Oh, look at the juke. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
To throw on second down, Jensen, and it's incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Here's Pirine. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, here's Pirine. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
But he was stopped on that play. But he's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Here's Tressway now. He's been terrific so far. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Reed. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, a 22. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They go play action here on first down. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. And an alley to run. And running with power here. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. They need a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. But just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jensen. Throw left side complete. That's Richardson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 more yards there and another first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Now they go screen. It's complete. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain. And give them 9 yards on the second down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
On 3rd down. It's Thompson, and he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll go on the ground. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
False start, offense.
Now they nab the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Trey Wayne's the Michigan State man right there in coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
They start the drive with Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
Again, it's Cook. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Looking to throw. And that is incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender. But you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kick.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jensen. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I've thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Looking to throw. Jensen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ben Gideon in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. It's a 5-yard game, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll look to throw. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they had that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock. I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now, I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. A give. This is Cook. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Third down, Dalvin Cook. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively they burn it here with 1:51 left. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Back to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
And fighting down inside the 25. And here a juke.
Holding, offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
He's back to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Back to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 18. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here when they're taking a knee is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win. Needed one desperately.
Crowder now to return. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.